Modern audience starts boycott after BASED Saber CEO fires lying activist writer. Worse than AI. You gotta love Saber Interactive. Based. Let's get it.
In this video, I'll be talking about a very interesting situation involving Saber Interactive, the developer of many games, including Space Marine 2 and the upcoming Space Marine 3. Now, this company is facing a lot of backlash right now from the modern audience, who's trying to start boycotts targeting this company and all of the games they're attached to because they believe that they fired a trans employee and replaced them with AI. This all comes thanks to a post from Paul Tassi. This journalist post has gone viral with 4 million views. You can see the headline here, and we'll get into the reactions in a second, but let's read it. A woman writing a Saber game said she was fired and replaced with AI, and the CEO response is one of the most insane things I've ever read. So here's the interaction with the CEO, where he responds by saying, "Stella who? I had to ask Claude AI because I had never spoken to her or seen her. We have already said we're using AI for certain parts of the game, and we'll update the Steam page once we have finalized the feature set." Now, to clarify, this person who's being canceled, the CEO, for replacing this writer with AI, immediately said, "I need to ask AI who this person is because I don't feel like I even remember who they are in the first place." Very funny, but he continues on saying, "Let me clarify that the entire story script, were it to win an award, would go to someone who can walk up on stage and receive it. It was always our intention to reveal this until Stella violated her confidentiality clause and revealed this before we were ready." I think that is the most important takeaway of this entire section. The CEO continues on saying, "We look at our use of AI in this particular game, which will be lower priced title, as a plus for consumers. As far as Stella is concerned, she was replaced by someone more talented and terminated for a variety of reasons a few months later. From what I can gather, she enjoys controversy even more than I do. I would frankly, in retrospect, have been happy to replace her with AI. At least we would be dealing with someone programmed, to be honest."
You know what? Like in the first year, where oh no, like some writer got replaced by AI, but after the 3 more paragraphs down here, like the reason why the writer got fired just by doing some controversies or just being a piece of shit. And you know what? This is a valid reason why this writer got fired and been replaced by AI, because first of all, holy shit, violation for her confidentiality. That is a major red flag, especially when you're running a company and a game studio. And second of all, you will have more trouble than you have a person that causes trouble and is not looking good. That will just ruin the entirety of the game studio's reputation, because one bad egg is being so cancerous within the ranks, or within the team, or basically within the company. So it is a good move that the CEO removed the person, because if she stayed longer and continue doing her shenanigans, this will end badly for Saber Interactive. And as far as I know, even though being replaced AI is bad, but it is a necessary evil that could could save face for the whole company. That first of all, AI doesn't cause any any drama or any internal discourse within the company or the game studio. Well, if you're gonna besides in the entire drama of a person getting replaced by AI, that is a known fact. But if we're gonna magnify it in the case of an AI would cause internal conflict within the company, I would say is not likely. And good on the CEO. Based.
Unfathomably based, ladies and
There you go.
gentlemen. Now, of course, there's really two interactions with this post. People saying I'm buying whatever game they're talking about based on this response alone, but also people pointing out it was a trans woman, by the way. Of
Okay.
course, this would be the response to firing her from a CEO who's an outspoken fan of Asmongold. Oh boy, yeah, we'll get into that later.
Ooh.
But there's also countless posts saying they want to boycott anything to do with this company and its CEO, including the Space Marine IPs. And of course, this story reported by Paul Tassi is falling apart at the seams because everything he's trying to represent here is pretty easily debunkable. But let's take a look at the
And at the same time, good luck trying to cancel Saber Interactive since they made one of the most loved game of all, Space Marine 2. It got the majority of the Warhammer fandom and the Warhammer community. Good luck canceling Saber Interactive because you will have to be, mess with the entirety or the majority of the Warhammer franchise or the Warhammer community. Because for one thing, I know they will fight tooth and nail in the name of the God Emperor himself. Glory.
The writer in question, Stella, who is extremely active on Blue Sky to their own dismay, as we'll point out in a second. But look at their bio, listing themselves as a lesbian. I didn't know this was a dating website. Very strange thing to put in your writer-related Blue Sky account, but then again, many such cases. But recently, they reposted a screenshot of theirs from 2023 where they said, I got replaced on one of my games at work with ChatGPT. Now, this starts to raise a lot of eyebrows because in the articles used by journalists like Paul Tassi, you can see it's reported that the LinkedIn page for Stella indicates that they worked as the lead writer for Saber Interactive from July 23rd or July 2023 to July 2024.
Right, a year.
So based on the timeline being presented here, they were apparently fired and replaced with AI in December of 2023, but kept working as the lead writer until July 2024, nearly 8 months later. That makes absolutely no sense. But Stella has been on a warpath ever since it was recently announced, this whole rideshare simulator by Saber here. And they say this: I didn't even see this had been announced. I was the lead writer on this one, and Saber replaced me with ChatGPT midway through development. All the passenger voices were AI too. Either they changed the direction at some point, or they're not disclosing it on Steam. But all of this again starts to unravel as people dig into not only Stella's own posts, but some of the articles reporting on this. People saying, he said she was terminated for cause violating her NDA. Employers need to be able to trust their employees. Stella is clearly not trustworthy.
Violating the NDA is the final nail of the coffin of her entire career as a lead writer for Saber Interactive. This is a grim reminder, or this is an example. If you are working for a company, or if you're working in a business, do not violate the NDA. Even if your company's a piece of shit, even if that sometimes you want to take revenge on said company because of the amount of discomfort or dissatisfaction while working there. There are many cases, but violating an NDA, not only that will ruin your career and also for future prospects of getting another job for another company, it will also wreck you in legal ways. Yeah, you will definitely see you will definitely see them in court, and there's no way of defending that. You have clearly violating your NDA, so do not do not.
And that is very abundantly clear based on Stella's own post saying, "Hey everybody, I've seen the statement from Matt Karch, the CEO of Saber Entertainment, and all of the truly horrendous things he said about me. I think it should be obvious to anyone who reads that statement that he's lashing out because he did not want people to know there was AI use in the game. Everything I said was true. Here's more truth. That statement is remarkably pathetic from the CEO of any company to be making, and combined with the AI use, it would do far more damage to Saber's reputation than it ever could to mine. This screed will be many people's first exposure to the Saber brand."
Bro, I like these dog whistlers, or these quote unquote like dog whistlers, saying that, oh no, Saber Interactive is using AI to make their games, while other game studios are doing the same. And like all these types of people are just pick and choosing if, like, based on of their dissatisfaction or basically hate for the company. Oh, might as well call you out for using AI, while the majority of these studios are using AI as well without absolutely disclosing it. Like that, like the only way that they could disclose it is whether they're gonna put it on Steam, because Steam is really strict when it comes to AI use for developing a game, you know. But if we're gonna, you know, like pick and choose, like like Saber Interactive is evil because they replace people with AI. Like there's other studios doing as well. Like this is pretty much normalized. So like in this certain scenario, I would say like, oh my gosh, like she is big mad, big angry, and you know, like she would think that she would become like a like pretty big because she exposed Saber Interactive using AI. That's not new. Like that's pretty much like the normalized case of every game studios out there.
And yada 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 about appreciating everyone, but going back to the statement that they're using, these journalists, it says from the CEO that Stella violated a confidentiality clause and revealed that there was AI in the game before they were ready to publicly disclose that. So based on their claim, Stella was fired not just to replace them with AI, but instead because they were violating their confidentiality clause and causing damage to the company by gossiping on social media, which kind of makes sense when you're looking at this individual who seems like they can't keep their mouth shut. But anyways,
like I'll set it. I'll just add a little bit into it. This is totally unprofessional. Even if like you're trying to work on a corporate ladder, this is one of the red flags that will haunt you for the rest of your life, especially when you're going for a career in any company ever. Violation of NDAs or confidentiality. Like you're pretty much you know, like got told of this, or pretty much like every time you join a company, like you will see like a lot of paperwork to sign, especially when you sign the NDA. Like once you sign the NDA, it's pretty much locked tight under lock and key and throw the key away. So she pretty much got everything that she deserved just by, you know, like gossiping, like wouldn't keep her mouth shut. Like isn't that really that hard to just be silent about a certain project? I mean, come on.
They even say down here that they didn't replace Stella with AI, but in retrospect, they wish they did. So then there wouldn't have been all these leaks thanks to Stella. But of course, the sheep over on social media are gobbling up the narrative that's being presented, saying boycott at Hellraiser game. This is effing disgusting to see. Another person saying you can block publishers on Steam. It'll stop their games from coming up in the store page, so you don't accidentally support this piece of crap company. Another one saying, lovely, you can put Saber Games on the a-hole companies to boycott list. What a scummy statement, hashtag FAI. Another one saying,
Classic.
for all of my horror fans who plan to play the Hellraiser game, to reconsider playing and boycott. Generative AI has no place in gaming. Do better. And as pointed out in this quote, boycott the Hellraiser game.
Oh, shit.
My guys, you can't even boycott the site owned by Elon Musk. Your calls to boycott anything rings hollow when you refuse to give up even one thing you want based on principles. Yeah, most of them have blue check marks as well. They can't leave anything that they actually want to engage with. Instead, they put pressure on others to boycott things that they probably had no interest in playing in the first place to get, I guess, a sense of control over others. But then again, that's what all these crybabies want. But also people are pointing out the Asmongold connection, saying same dude, showing a screenshot of the CEO's comment on an Asmongold video saying something very controversial. Journalists were very upset about this. He said, hey man, CEO of Saber here, I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marine 2, all I wanted was a throwback game. We had the chance to work on something which by its nature was old school. I can't even comprehend many of the current games that we play these days. They are too complex and too much of an investment. We worked on Halo back in the day, and that game could be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. Okay. This is what we wanted to recapture. I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Wukong are the start of a reversion to a time when games were simply about fun and immersion. We want to do some glory kills and get the heart rate up a little. For me, that is what games should be about, guys.
That is CEO of Saber Interactive fucking base. 1,000,000% base. Holy shit. Oh my gosh, like, it's not about like having great graphics. It's not about great features. It's not about like who has the best tech in when it comes to video games. It's just all comes down to simply basic mechanics or basic like immersion, gameplay, and then gameplay loop. It's pretty simple where like if you can capture the player's attention and fully immerse to the world that you built, and also with the combat, with the different play styles, you definitely know that once that player like have a fun experience, they will just keep coming back, and until then, if you're gonna release another game or another sequel, like for example, Space Marine, like I do enjoy Space Marine 2, but when Space Marine 3 comes out, I'll be 100% will support and buy the game, and I will enjoy every second of it, as I did playing Space Marine 2. It's just that simple. Like, damn, base as fuck, Matthew Karsh.
The CEO basically said in his comment that he wants to make games fun and immersive. And because it was on an Asmongold video, journalists were canceling the CEO and people were outraged and boycotting the game as a result. The softest people ever. And speaking of the softest people, they're still very upset on social media, saying certainly an interesting way to approach this from a CEO. Buy Hellraiser. Well, luckily, Hellraiser game waited way too long to put a pre-order out, so now I can save my money. Huh? Guess I'm not buying SM3 Space Marine 3. Games Workshop is incredibly anti-AI, so I would not be shocked if they cancel Space Marine 3 over this. Yeah, they're going to cancel Space Marine 3 over this situation, absolutely. But of course, a lot of these claims by Paul Tassi have been heavily criticized. But what's most important to Paul Tassi and these journalists? What is the thing they're responding to in the comments? Oh, it's ones like these saying more CEOs should do that. That was funny. Also, why did you have to say a woman? Why couldn't you just say former employee? It's little things like that I find interesting about you type. And Paul says, it literally says her name and gender multiple times in the statement. And Paul would give a follow-up saying people are saying she was fired for breach of contract for violating her confidentiality clause. But she did not talk about the AI use publicly until after she was fired, which is when this story began. She may be breaking that clause now, but it's not why she was fired. the situation makes that pretty clear. Her quote that sparked this: "I didn't even see this had been announced. I was the lead writer on this one, and Saber replaced me with ChatGPT midway through development. All the passenger voices were AI too. Either they changed their direction at some point or they're not disclosing it on Steam." So basically they're coming out and saying, oh, she didn't do that. Well, it seems like the timeline doesn't make absolutely any sense at all. And people are pointing out what was stated by the CEO. Because I guess in this narrative, you have to just accept the word of Stella and ignore the CEO. Because I guess one's on the right side of history and the other one is not. So therefore, we can only trust Stella's word and not that of the CEO, who claims it was a confidentiality breach. But then again, for this whole confidentiality thing and the firing itself, the timeline presented by Stella doesn't even make sense. And the articles and people are pointing that in the proposed notes. But then again, what is Paul focusing on when people are questioning the narrative he's sharing? Responding to people saying it's a he. Saying, do you guys ever get tired of this? I would ask you, Paul, do you ever get tired of doing this?
You'll get used to it. If you've been in Twitter long enough, you will definitely get used to it, where it's just by like making a simple mistake of misgendering people, like you don't even know the person at all, like for once, like making a mistake of misgendering a person, and then you have this Twitter mob crowd who come in and be as initiate their carnal instincts and just dogpiles you for misgendering someone. Jesus Christ, man. It's same old Twitter.
Because I think a lot of other people are tired of doing what you're capitulating to. But then again, a lot of the responses are to get a boycott, but there's a lot more saying this secured my pre-order of Space Marine 3 and future DLC purchases for Space Marine 2. Yeah, I think the statement from the CEO is hilarious, and I think this person, Stella, can't really be trusted whatsoever, and the fact that journalists and all of these sycophants on social media immediately jumped on the bandwagon without questioning anything is just, well, expected at this point. But anyways, that's going to do this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like. Consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week here live on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
All right, great video from Rev. You know what? I said it before. Like, this makes Saber Interactive more base as usual, because like if these people are saying that, oh my gosh, Warhammer fans will not support this game because you use AI. Holy shit, man. Like, I mean, like, if that's the case, that they will just drop, like, they will just go virtual signaling mode and just stating the fact that, oh my gosh, like, I'm not gonna play Space Marine 3 or Hellraiser anymore because this fucking company is just being evil and using AI to replace people. You know what? Like, get the fuck out, man. Like, if you think that you're a fan of Saber Interactive, Space Marine 2, or even Hellraiser, you know what? Get the fuck out, because might as well, Saber Interactive might as well, like, they would focus on catering of an actual audience or a specific players that absolutely doesn't give a shit of these types of like drama at this point. Because first of all, like that lady, like I don't really care about anything at all, just that breach of contract of breaching NDA. Like, here's the thing, even if that you are, you are laid off, you are fired from the company, that doesn't mean that you are scot-free of the NDA. It will still be in effect. It will still be in effect. And at the same time, even if that weren't the case at all, it will also reflect on your character as well, of your integrity, where even if you are fired, do you still want to like keep it a secret of what the current projects that the company are working on. If you just like, if you weren't controlling your mouth and start like gossiping everybody in the high heavens, then no, like that will indicate that no CEO, no company will ever trust you ever again. Because if that were the case for like you doing it against Saber Interactive, why would they even hire you in the first place? That like you are keen of doing it, even if like there's an NDA in effect. Like it's just, you know, you're pretty much you're self-sabotaging yourself from any future prospects. So you know what, like she will get a massive L for that and a massive W for Saber Interactive. Do not do not pander to these people. Do not bend the knee to these people, because if you do, that's a sign of weakness. And they are the sign of weakness. Those types of people would just complain. Like picture this, like they will just complain on Twitter, but when it comes to buying your game, they will not absolutely buy your games. Like they will not play Space Marine 2, they will not play Hellraiser. They will just keep complaining on Twitter like they always do. It's like it's in their nature. So like do not listen to them. Like they can just whine and get the fuck off.